welcome back to the channel for another fishing video. We've done a couple of recent ones, tying knots, picking pole floats, stuff like that, but today going to get back out on the bank and do a bit of fishing. Now, very different to the last time we went fishing, because that's when we did our live match. It was -2 as we put our stuff into the car, and it was a very tough match, but we knew it was going to be that way, and that's fine. It's not like we was expecting a bumper day and it ended up being a bit rubbish. It wasn't the case. We knew it was going to be hard, so we adjusted our tactics. Now today, totally different. We're going to be doing some pleasure fishing. And what's the point in pleasure fishing, basically? I mean, if you'd have asked me that 2 or 3 years ago, I'd have said none whatsoever. When I go fishing, I must be fishing a match. But COVID changed that, to be quite frank. We couldn't fish matches. I was just glad and thankful to be able to get out onto the bank. So since then, managed to fit in a fair bit of pleasure sessions, fair bit of pleasure fishing, and that's what we're going to do today. So purpose of pleasure fishing nowadays is a couple of things. One, to try new waters. There are so many venues within a short drive from my location that there's still lots I haven't had a chance to try. 2, test tackle, and that will be the main purpose of today. I'm going to a place called Bainside House Fishery, and I've been there a few times, done 2 videos in the past there. If you take a look through the channel on the bank section, I've done waggler fishing and I've done some spring pellet fishing. Today's a different beast. It is now currently 19 degrees. It's dinner time, so we're not having an early start. I've had a bit of a lie-in, and I expect to test some tackle. I've got a new method feeder rod that I want to try, and also my margin pole that I bought last year. I've only ever used it once, so we're going to give those a good workout, because I think we're going to catch some fish down the edge late afternoon into the early evening. I'll fish till about tea time. So that's the purpose of today, really. It's not a new venue, but it gives me a chance to try some gear and also try some baits as well. So obviously, Teddy Fisher, we've got a wide variety of baits, constantly testing, trialing, making sure that things are as they should be, quality control. Today we're going to use something called the Rival range, which is a product that we helped brief in early last year, if not the year before, and it came to the market sort of summertime last year, so we're going to use that today. Anyway, let's crack on. Let's get to the venue, get set up, and I'll show you these bits of kit that I want to try. Nothing expensive, all within affordability for pleasure anglers, club anglers, open match anglers, and show you how to knock this bait up as well, and hopefully catch a few fish. So let's get fishing. Well, here we are at Bainside House Fishery. It's become a bit of a default place, really, for me to choose. I mean, a couple of different videos and a bit of coaching here as well. And the good thing is, you can actually pre-book your peg. So Mick, the owner, I think he's kindly put peg 2 in for me today. Short walk from the caravan park. He's let me park there as well. And well, it's been a while since I've been here, but let's just say it looks pretty special. Now we've got some greenery and the pads are coming up, so absolutely wonderful. And when we talk about pleasure fishing, why would you not want to spend a few hours here? So let's get set up. I think this will be my peg 2, I believe. Yeah, and there we go, my little reserved sign. So let's get set up and reconvene in a bit. We can even watch Spitfires. Now, another little bonus of this fishery is, the clue's in the name, Bainside. It's next to the River Bain. Now, it's closed season at the minute, so obviously can't target this. But when the river season's up and running, £3 a day, you just need to sort of dig yourself a little peg out, because it's pretty overgrown. Best time of the year, September onwards, when things start dying off, but lovely place, really is. Chub, trout, pike, all sorts. Well, we're nearly set up now, and there are some annual nuptials taking place, to put it in a polite way. Pop the mic on as well, because it's pretty windy. I don't know whether that'll affect the sport, but I think the main thing that will affect things is the spawning that's taking place. So we've got to be a bit careful. Fisheries give me permission to put my keep nets in. You can put silvers in your net anyway, but carp, I might end up just popping them straight back. We'll see how we go. Bait wise, I've gone really simple today, so I'm going to fish paste, because I think in this heat, it was 25 degrees yesterday, very humid, a little bit more milder today, 19 degrees, but it's still feeling pretty humid. I think paste is a great option, and I'm just going to fish it down the edge of this tree here that hopefully you can see on the camera just there. But I'm also going to fish a small method feeder, actually the new Drennan pellet feeder, across against the lily pads on the far side, just with dead maggots on the hook, see what pops along. So we're trialling a new pellet feeder, a method feeder, and also this little rod that I purchased. I'll do a close-up later on, but this is the new Daiwa Matchman range, cheap as chips, £45. This is the 9-foot method rod, and I want to give it a real chance. Again, pleasure fishing, this is the perfect opportunity. Can such an affordable piece of kit be usable in a match situation? I'm sure it can, it feels great, but let's see how it behaves when we catch a few fish. Similarly, in terms of tackle testing, I've also got this margin pole. I've only used once before. I bought it last year. It's the Preston Edge Monster 10-metre version, and that's what I'm going to fish the paste on. I have used it once. I've caught plenty of small carp, but on this venue they do run up to about £15. So if we up one of them, then we're going to give it a thorough testing. I'll talk you through the rigs, etc. Later on, a little bit closer up. But bait wise, we've got dead red maggots, we've got some hemp seed with Teddy Fisher's Scopex, there's a few grains of corn in there as well. I've got a couple of worms out of the garden that I might well fish over the hemp instead of the paste, we'll see. And ground bait. So we have a range of ground baits. This is called the Rival range. I mentioned that as I was driving in. And the idea behind the Rival range is to take the complexity out of choosing a ground bait. When you're pleasure fishing, new venue, you're not too sure what to use, this is perfect because it's suitable for all venues. It's got pellet content and cereal content, but it's not overpowering. It's nice and fine, and you can bulk it out with as much sort of particles as you wish. So we do 3 colours or flavours if you like. We have a dark one, which is brilliant for autumn or winter. We've got the green one, which is fantastic at the height of summer. We have a red krill one as well, but today I'll be going for the natural one. So I'm going to knock a bag of this up, and I'm going to put this through this new Drennan feeder, see how it behaves, with 3 or 4 dead red maggots on the hook, just to see what pops along. There's bream, there's tench, there's crucian carp, rudd, big roach, all sorts to go at. So even if the carp are busy doing what they're doing, I'm hoping to get a few bites off other species as well. And I think this will attract them all because it's targeting all types of fish. Also, with the hemp seed on the paste line, I'm going to put in some micro pellets as well, heavily wetted in shallow water. I've got about probably 3 foot of water just down by this tree here. I can't get tight into the margins because it's overgrown, and there's nothing really, even if I cut it back, I won't be able to fish effectively. So I'm going to fish that down that near shell, and I'm going to go for these ones, octopus and squid. This is from our Big One river range, but what we're seeing through testing, through brand advocates and from the customers that have purchased this, it's been brilliant for carp. So this, I'm going to give a good thorough testing today. These are 2 millies. I'm going to wet them down. I'll probably put a sprinkle of them in my ground bait for the feeder as well. And what I will do, of course, is if the ground bait's not doing what it needs to be doing, I can wet these down and fish just a pellet. And because they're red maggot over the top will be perfect as well. So we'll see how we go. I'll talk you through the rigs in a second or two, but it's a beautiful day, and this is what pleasure fishing is all about. Testing new tackle, testing some baits thoroughly, and getting a few fish in the net and making sure that we've got enough practice in for when we do go on matches. Right, let's talk you through this tackle then. So we have, and I can show you on the side camera close up as well, a 9-foot Daiwa Matchman method feeder rod, 45 quid, teamed up with a Daiwa Ninja reel. It's 3000 size with £6 Daiwa centre line. So pretty standard setup, not too expensive. We've got this new 25 gram pellet method feeder, Drennan, whatever they're calling it, which has got these wings that come up at the side. 25 grams more than enough. I'm only casting 18 metres to those lily pads across. Hook length wise, we've got 4 inches of .15 Guru engage with a size 14 LWG hook. No band or anything like that, I'm just going to hook the dead maggots. So that's what we're going to kick off with across to those lily pads. I just need to put my ground bait through the riddle and then we're good to go for that. I'll sprinkle a few pellets in. I've just soaked them for 2 minutes, drain them off, and that gives them a nice sticky feel. Pole wise, set up 2 rigs. The main paste rig, which is this long, I've spoken about this before on previous videos, nice long antenna with 0.19 Guru engage line. There's a 0.3 gram running on at Olivet because it's so windy today. It's really important. Don't want the line wrapping around the top kit. Couple of number 8 Stotts droppers, and then a hook length of 8 inches, and that's 0.18 with a size 12 Camazan animal hook. The elastic is 14 to 16. It's called a crossover from Keep Nets Direct. It's a black and it's very similar to black hydro. So that's going to be, and I've just already fed it, I've put in a cup of hemp with a few micro pellets over the top, just off of that tree, in about, what we're in, about sort of 2.5 foot of water, 3 foot of water. The other rig, I've decided to fish right down here, just next to my keep net. Similar setup, 0.19 line, 0.16 main, hook length this time, 4 inches, size 16 LWG. Bulk of shot is 0.4 of a gram, and this is from Ian's Floats. I think he normally makes these for like slapping, for big carp, shallow, but I think these are great for down the edge. Big 3mm bristle, 0.4 of a gram, and again, it's about sort of 2.5, maybe 3 foot, right down the edge just here. So there's no marginal shelf as such, it's just, you know, pretty level as we go. So they're the tactics, and that's what we're going to be testing, this pellet feeder and rod, as well as this margin pole. So let's see how we go. Right, well, let's kick off then on the rod. A little bit of ground bait at the bottom of the feeder. I'll do a close-up of this. Maggots on top, got 4 dead reds. And then just cover the feeder with the ground bait. And what we're going to do is we're not going to clip up because these fish fight really hard on here. So much so, I actually had a second thoughts. Perfect. Second thoughts about the hook length, and I decided to beef up. It's a 0.19 hook now with a 16 MWG, a Guru hook, because I remember last time I fished on here, they really do fight quite hard. So, no clip, bit of a beefy hook length. And let's just try and catch a couple of fish on this rod and see how it performs. Is it going to be good enough in a match situation? I mean, I've got rods more expensive than this, but for something that you can just throw in the car and you know, have it ready, perhaps on a venue that you're not going to intend to fish the rod and line or a feeder, it's just something that you can just whip out to react to what's going on the day. So we've been fishing about 20 minutes now, and I'm getting plenty of line bites, plenty of indications, and one wrap round, which I then went and lost. Typical. I was talking about making sure your clutch is set, practice what you preach. I just wasn't prepared for it at all. It shot straight into the pads. I managed to get it out. The rod had the backbone to put some pressure on, and then it shot off to the second set of pads to the right hand side, so it could have been a right old lump, I don't know. Here we go. Now, let's check this rod's backbone now, because it's gone straight for those pads. I can see the pads moving. It's really giving it some. Now, so put a little bit of pressure on the clutch and see if I can get it out of those pads. definitely gone into those pads. It feels a little bit solid right now. Yeah. So that's the second one that's taken me straight into the pads. Tip when this happens, slacken the line and just see if that fish swims out. It's still on. I can feel that it's still on, it's nodding its head. And there we go, I've got it out of the pad. So there's a little tip. Sometimes when you slacken it off, you just bamboozle them a little bit. Now, it's going for the other pads, just like the other fish did, so I'm having to really give this rod some teddy. Right, we've got it out now. It's in the open water. So let's see what this rod's made of, because it's going to go for these trees. And there's going to be lots of roots under there. It's gone for the roots as we anticipated. Now this isn't even a big fish, and it goes to show you how much they go in this water. But that rod is bent right over, as you can see. And that's what we wanted to test. It's not even a big fish, it's a little common. Wow. So first fish of the session, half an hour in, and that has given that rod a right old roasting. There we go. That is a lovely little common, probably about 2.5, 3 pound. I'll pop him in the net. But that goes to show, a little tip there, slacken the line off if you feel everything's gone a bit solid. And sometimes they do swim out, and in that case it did, but not even a big fish, but so powerful on this lake. Okay, so we fished that rod for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes or so. I've had the one fish that you saw me land and the one that I lost. Just not feeling super confident over there. I think that the fish are up to other things, and maybe later on we can get back on it, but the rod has given me food for thought. So it's time now to have a little look on this paste, just to see if anything's settled. That bait's been down there for, I say, about probably an hour now. It's my own paste that I've been working on. This is a squid version. Very, very sticky, and should be able to, a big fish, suck it up in one go. Relatively wetted down. Hopefully you can see the flow on the action camera in front of me there. So the idea behind that Olivet that's free running is so the line isn't tangly when I'm shipping out. It's not such a big problem fishing short, but it also allows me to read the bites. It's one of them with the paste. Probably might be a bit too early to go on it. It's just 2:15 now. Just having a quick look to see. I've been flicking maggots, micro pellets, bit of emp down this edge here as well, right tight and close, just on a top kit with that Ian's float. There's a little touch now. You just got to be careful when fishing paste not to strike at what you think looks like a normal bite. They normally shoot straight the way under, but with the mood they're in today, I'm not too sure. There's a touch. I got giddy. But that's positive. First chuck, and certainly something sniffing around there. So we'll try that one again. Quite a reasonable size paste, you know, a good lump, which if I should show you there on the action camera. So we pop it into the paste pot. I like using these Guru paste pots. Some emp and some of these squid and octopus micros, nicely wetted down. What you don't want is you don't want any bait wafting up off the bottom when these big carp come in. You want all your bait pinned down with your lump of paste right over the top of it. So we'll just, same spot. There we go. And you'll see it register on the float when it hits the bottom. Might put a back shot on that because this swirling wind is a little bit awkward. Or shorten the line between the float and tip. But it's positive, a bit of a bite or a bit of an indication, first chuck. I just hope that you can see the float on that action camera. There we go. Straight away, second chuck. Oh, that's going. Crikey. This is giving the pole a run for its money. Wow. That's gone straight down the bank. Let's see. Might have to stick a section on. Wow. These fish are so powerful. I don't know where that's gone. I'm just holding on for dear life. Let's see. It might have snagged me up. It might still be going. But I'm holding on for dear life. Wow. That is strong. So what I'm going to try and do is put a section on and push that pole out. Ah, we've lost it. Wow, that was a strong fish. So, damn. Has that broke me or? I think it has. Yeah, that's broke me. That is serious. But again, positive. Just not prepared again, was I? I should have had them sections ready behind me, ready to go out. So let's try again. But this time I've got the sections behind me prepared. Oops. Just in case, because that was a schoolboy error. That was a serious fish that just, wow, I didn't even see it. So that might have spooked him a little bit, but we'll see. I mean, I've given myself a bit of room because I'm not fishing right next to the tree. Another touch, bob, bob, bob. So when you do get a bite, it's normally bang, especially from a carp. I think that piece has come off. And be prepared for that when you're fishing paste. You know, it's a busy method. But as I said on the previous video, you know, you've just got to think to yourself, you're always feeding the peg. It's another nice big lump. What I've done is I've put another hook length on, which is 0.19, so slightly heavier than before. Size 12 hook again. Some emp, some micros. As I expect to be in and out quite a lot anyway. But that's exciting. This is exciting fishing. A bit gutted to lose it, but my fault completely. Should have had them sections ready. Little touch. There we go. There we go. Right, let's get that section on. I don't want to fall for that again. There, we got control straight away, which is good. Right, how's this pole behaving? Well, it's bendy. Don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. It's woke up a bit. So get it away from those snags. The section's out. Let's have a look where it's gone. Okay. I think I can start bringing it back a little bit. One thing I have noticed with this pole is that the top kits are freakishly long. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing either. But I suppose you've got height over it straight away. Start stripping a little bit. What's this? It's obviously a carp. It's not a big fish, just powerful again. No, it's not big at all. Oh dear, this is crazy. Yeah, these top kits are really long. There we go. Oh, he's not bad. He's not bad. Let's have a look at him. It's a nice common again. He's probably £5. So certainly not a beast, but nevertheless, a fish on paste is always good. Let's have a look at him. You can see that. Beautiful common. We'll pop him in the next, not too big. And if we start it hooking and landing, I don't know about landing double figure fish the way these are going, but if we do get any, I'll pop them straight back. I don't want to put them in the net. I love paste fishing in the summer. It's probably one of my favourite methods, certainly on a commercial. It's fairly simple, it's positive, and it's exciting. So, another touch. Here we go. Put that power on. It's only a small fish. I think this might be an F1. Let's have a look. It's not a big fish. Much more control over this one then. I think that first fish definitely caught me unawares. Yeah, I think this is an F1. Oh no, it's a small common. There we go. A small common. So they like this squid paste that I've put together. And they certainly like that Emper Micro combo. There you go, not a big fish, but pretty. Oh, steady, steady, steady. There we go. Let's pop him in the net. And hopefully this footage gives you a bit of an idea of how this pole behaves. It's obviously a bit bendy in the tip section, probably because it's so long, but it's light. And I don't feel that the walls are going to break, or I'm holding the sections really tight. So it's certainly robust. I think the first time I used it last year, I don't think I had anything above £2 poundish. So it's the first time that it's had a good workout. Right, so we are 4:25. So I've been fishing about 3 hours. I'm probably going to start thinking about calling it a day now because it's got a bit chilly and I think it's probably going to rain in a little while as well. Okay, so where are we at? We had an interruption from my little one just as I was lining them up on the paste. We had a couple getting used to the action of this pole. That section behind me needed. I threw the method over the top of this paste line, had a couple of F1s and a common, which give the rod a good testing, which is fine. So, quick overview. Do I like the feeders, the new Drennan feeders? Yes, dead easy to load, totally get it. The rod, does it feel like a cheaper rod? Yes, of course it does. It was 45 quid. Does it feel 45 pound? No, not at all. I like it. Plenty of backbone, bends right the way through to the butt. That butt section though does feel a little bit long because I'm used to a really short one on my wand. This pole, ooh, this pole bends like mad, so it's going to take some getting used to. I think it's because those top kits are so long, and obviously you've got extra elastic in the long top kit, so that means that you sometimes struggle to get control. I don't dislike it. It feels really strong, feels robust. I've got to watch that electric fence. It feels strong and robust. It just needs to get used to. It feels like I paid 170 quid for it, I think. It feels like 170 quid pole. But what I am surprised is how light it is and how stiff it is as well. It's just when you're hooking a fish and they're going mad on it. It might just be because I'm on here and the fish bite really crazy. But yeah, it's going to take some getting used to, these long top kits. But I like it. So I like the rod, I like the pole. You get what you pay for, sort of thing. And in terms of the purpose of the session, just to get out, catch a few fish, well, objective complete really. So that's another scrappy little common. They are so strong. I know I keep saying it, but they really are. Now this little line down the edge, I have had the odd look on there. I pricked a fish, foul looked, and it went, and I've had a couple of little perch, so probably no point in spending too long fishing down there. I might have another look in a short while. But that's another one of these sort of 3.5, maybe 4 pound commons. Really pretty fish. I can hear a Lancaster bomber in the background. Just up the road from here is the Battle of Britain Memorial. I need the disgorger for that. Greedy fish. And hopefully on the camera I caught a little Spitfire going over before. So I'll stick that on for you if I captured it. So there we go, another scrappy little common. Again, £3, 3.5 pound. But lovely condition fish. Similar to when I did, if you check out the video I did spring pellet fishing on here. They were all that sort of stamp then. A lot colder than it is today. But it's been really enjoyable. Just a good few hours to get out. Couldn't get on a match today, so this has ticked all the boxes. I've tested out a bit of kit. Little ones come along and had a little play around. She didn't catch anything, bless her. And we've managed to put these bits of kit through its paces. So I'm hoping you've got a few little tips. I mean, they're pretty much lined up here now, and you know I love fishing paste, spring, summertime. When you do get them going, you really do. So let's see if we can catch you one more. Ooh, how did I miss that? That went straight on as soon as it hit the deck. I can hear that Lancaster or some sort of old military plane. How many fish I've had, I don't know. Half a dozen, 8 maybe. A couple of F1s. Not battered it, but that's the the beauty of pleasure fishing. I'm not too fussed. Just going to catch a few fish and try a bit of tackle. Right, let's have a look here. Bites, bites. There we go. This is pretty instant now. And this is how pace can be. We might need that section that just fell off. Just push it out to get it away from all these snags. There's a lot of snags down here. This is why they're coming close in. I don't think it's a big fish. Nothing like this that is in here. I think all those bigger fish are too busy spawning. I'm getting used to this topkin. Has gone round my keep net. Scrappy little beggar. Getting used to these top kits now. I think that's what it is. Just needs to get used to the playing action and this extra length of lackey. And this is a tiny fish, and look how much it's going. Just a reminder, this is 16 to 18 hybrid elastic. And they really do give it some. That's probably an F1 maybe. Oh no, it's another little common. Yeah, tiny. Well, it's small, but it's stocky. I mean, that's still a good, probably 2.5 pound. Well, I've just hooked something that has absolutely shot off like a rocket, and it came right to the surface. And he's just sort of waddling around, and I don't know if it's a good fish or not. Just bizarre. Just as I was thinking about wrapping up, it's like them skimmers when you hook the skimmers on commercials and they fly out the water. Well, it was one of them, and it's just another scrappy little common. Oh, there we go. Hook's come out. Perfect. Small fish. Probably an F1 maybe. Yeah, F1. Nice fish. Good stamp. One of the pleasures of pleasure fishing. Schoolboy error, didn't hit record when I put the fish back, but you should be able to see on camera in a minute or two me putting the fish back. Probably about 45 pound of carp. A couple that I put back as well that were had a bit of spawn in them, so we weren't keeping them in the keep net. But I guess the conclusion is pleasure fishing. 2 years ago wouldn't have been for me at all, but since the pandemic, chance to get out, try some gear, make sure you're getting your stuff sorted for when you are on a match. It's been really good, to be honest, and now I've found those types of waters like Bainside House, which is just a pleasure angler's dream really, and it's a good chance. You know you're going to catch fish, you know you're going to put your gear through a good workout, and yeah, just a few hours. I mean, I've only fished 3.5, 4 hours today, and that was with a little one popping along to disturb me for a while as well. So very enjoyable. Hopefully you've enjoyed it too, and as always, like and subscribe. I look forward to putting the next video together for you. So tight lines.